So when I was a little boy, once upon a time, in the yeshiva that I learned Ole Torah, not far, a couple of blocks away, there was a fellow named Eli Lipsker, who lives in the neighborhood. He had a band, and he was a musician. Way back, he was basically the band in Crown Heights for all the weddings and simchas. And he started a choir, a kids' choir and an adult choir. And little me, I was part of the boys' choir. And then some rabbis, some shluchim around the country, decided to do an evening with Chabad, which would be Eli Lipsker with a band, the choir, boys and the adults, and a MC who would explain the Hasidic songs to the crowd. There wasn't a religious, no religious crowds then in Minnesota or in Detroit or Miami, way back. And he would explain the songs, then we would sing the songs. So it was an evening with Chabad, musical evening, with the rabbi explaining each song, the meaning of the words, who composed it. It was like a very interesting... And God gave me a very strong, beautiful voice when I was before Bar Mitzvah, like age 9, 10, 11, 12. And I had some interesting solos with very high notes to hit. I remember now I get the chills when I talk about it. After some of those solos, the crowd would just, I don't think they knew what I was singing, but a little boy just singing his guts out, singing to God. The applause was quite amazing. I didn't understand why they were so, taken, and now I understand. I guess the neshama felt something, and that was the beginning. He did a few records, a few albums, Eli Lipsker, which I was on. As a matter of fact, on one of my CDs, which one is it? I don't remember. I sing a duet with myself. Tzama L'cha Nafshi. I sing the low part as an adult, and I use the recording from the concert in Minnesota as a kid, and I put it on the album. So that was an interesting, and you hear the applause. Actually, I had to leave that in. So that was the beginning. I had a very, very high, beautiful, strong voice, and then came the age of 13, and I was working with a fellow named Eli Teitelbaum, Olav Ashalim, who was producing Stei Chemed stuff. And I came to the studio, and I was supposed to sing the high part because my koyach was the high parts, the belters. And I come to the studio, and it's my turn to start singing the high part, and that was it. Try it again, finished. So Eli, in his kindness, said, you know what, you do the low part, and we'll give the other kid to do the high part. So he saved face. He didn't send me home totally embarrassed. And that was the beginning of my voice change. That was it. That was till about the age of 20. And I was totally not dreaming about ever singing again those years. It was over, finished. It was a nice run as a kid. I figured that's it. I'll be a shliach someplace in the Chabad house. I think I was about 20 years old at the time. And there were many albums coming out. And I kept hearing songs about the Holocaust. I kept hearing songs about pain and suffering and blood and oy vey 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 vey. And every Shabbos, I would stand by the Rebbe's Farbrengens. And I would hear such beautiful messages from him. What is a Jew? What is a neshama? And I heard such great things. I said, these things have to be put into song. The world has to hear these messages. Which gave birth to my first album title that I heard from the Rebbe, No Jew Will Be Left Behind. I remember him talking about, it's not possible. It's like a Sefer Torah. If it's missing a letter, one little letter, it invalidates the whole Torah. The Jewish people are not complete if one Jew, no matter who it is, Mashiach can't take 99.9% of the people out with him when he comes. It's got to be 100%. One Jew can't be missing. Otherwise, the whole family is not complete. I said, this has to be put into a song, and so that was the beginning of I basically did it with a mission of bringing positive messages to counterbalance what I was hearing then, all the negativity and the Holocaust. And that's how, that gave me the idea to try to bring some uplifting messages and inspiring messages that I was hearing every Shabbos.